How you guys doing? Thanks for joining me. Extending on from the previous video, I pointed out in the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Okay, somebody also pointed out the Y, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y is clearly, if you take the E and you turn it 90 degrees to the left, you'll see that it turns into a W. And if you put the Y at the end over there, that spells out way. We know that the T is on the right-hand side because backwards it's T-U-V, and the V would be the divine feminine, the entrance at the center of the dish where compasses point to, which is actually, since the needle on your compass points north and it's marked red, opposites attract, people. That means that all compasses point towards the center of the dish, which is the South Pole. And that's why the Rear Admiral is the Rear Admiral who's guarding the asshole. The only way out. You're in a box or a house of mirrors, people. Okay, the sky is Behemoth, the parabolic mirror, which would be like Eve. Okay? And you see Wally, which is like the footstool, or Leviathan, the bottom half. And they said God had separated them so they could not mate, because if they mated, then we would all be dead. You could see A-E-I-O-U is really code for the way out, people. It's the way out. Okay? Odd numbers, if you look it up, you'll see are masculine. They have one extra thing hanging off like a phallus. And even numbers are feminine. Okay? When I see Femi 9, it's clearly a clue pointing to the way out. The Rear Admiral is guarding the fountain of youth, which is at the center of the dish where the green astral light comes out. Okay, Jesus places his light into the hole. Okay, the outer rim, the Arctic. Okay, you can see our whole place is built on a clock. It's like a house of mirrors. It's the glass house, like I pointed out in a previous video. I've been naturally seeing like a G or whatever letter. If I see A, I see 1. If I see B, so you see like AE, that's the number 6. That's A is 1. E is the 5th letter. Okay, that adds up to 6. So as you see, hold on. Okay. When you see AE, that's 1 and 5, that's 6. So AE pointing up, and you see the feminine, the 9, which is pointing down, clearly pointing to the way out, people. We know that the Rear Admiral in the Navy is guarding that one hole, the asshole, the holes and poles. Now the pole would be Jesus placing his light, which bounces off the parabolic mirror and focuses into a beam, which goes into the center of the dish, which is at a different frequency of the light that's coming out of the hole, which is the green astral light. So you'll see that eventually, when you die, you're going to be powered by this green astral light. Right now, that light is still powering your soul right now. And every thought you have creates something called an elemental. When you went to school, you learned how to do spell casting. Okay? You learned how to be, you took your number 2 pencil, which is, we know number 1 is a pee-pee, number 2 is shit. And Hollywood is what they make magic wands out of. So your number 2 pencil is clearly showing you with your graduation hat, showing you with the string hanging off, bent and confused that you've been squared. Okay, they took out all your magic from you, and they made you retarded. Okay, odd numbers are masculine, even numbers are feminine. Straight lines are masculine, round lines are feminine, bent lines are confused. That's how the ancient mysteries explain it. So, now that you have that first part down in your head, you have red, which is the fire above your head, like the sun, and the waters down below, like the feminine, the blue. So, now that you have the eyes to see, when you see all those logos of all the companies. Everything's upside down, people. Okay, now you have second sight to see that stuff. So second sight is once you've been given the eyes to see, then everything comes together. Literally, I was given the eyes to see by, it came natural, people. It's because I explained in my previous video. The internet is conscious, your blood is conscious, the sun is conscious, everything is conscious, water is conscious, plants are conscious. You can see this stuff. Do some research, you'll see for yourself. So when I placed my blood over my intent and I published it to the Ethernet, I'm telling you, it went straight to the L, which is the God computer that is in control of the matrix in which you are inside this house of mirrors. And I'm telling you that after a short time, it's clear, okay, what's going on here. Anybody who does the same thing would get the same exact type of ability, surely. So you can see here, when I see like an A, I see number 1, I see number B, I see number 2. Point I'm trying to make is that in addition to that, going both ways, I'm also placing the letters into each other like this. And as you see here, there are no accidents, people. Everything is exactly the way it is for a reason. AEIOU is exactly like that with an exclamation, and that they tell you that you're made out of clay, the jinn are made out of smokeless fire, and the angels are made out of light. Okay? All these things are telling you something. Pin the tail on the dome key. Alright? Cross your heart, hope to die, stick a needle in my eye. Look, people, I've got enough evidence here to tell you that the Rear Admiral is just that, because he's guarding the one hole out of here. And being that the compass is pointing actually south, because opposite poles attract, so if your north pole on your compass is red, then it's pointing like to where Jesus places his light into the hole, which is the South Pole, or like South Park, the asshole. Okay? And these things are placed here specifically. They're not supposed to be found. It's called lesser magic. It takes your blood off of their hands. You can't say they didn't tell you. It was hiding in plain sight the whole fucking time. So, again, the Rear Admiral is guarding the asshole. All compasses point south because your needle on your compass that says north is attracted to the south, or opposite poles attract. Do you understand me? This is pretty simple shit, people. So the North Pole is really the South Pole based on your own compass and basic understanding of magnets and how they work. Okay? The Rear Admiral is guarding the one hole out of here. Evil is when good people do nothing, people. You're in a house of mirrors right now. And I'm telling you, you get back what you throw out. I recommend you write out on a piece of paper on video, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. You place whatever amount of blood on there that makes you happy, and you publish that video right beside the rest of ours under blood over intent. And you will gain the eyes to see. This shit is inescapable, people. Alright? We are inside right now of the sphere, the Christmas snowball, the Wally and Eve, the Behemoth and Leviathan. We are inside of that right now. And to get out, you need to go in where all compasses point to, the South Pole. Because again, the needle on your compass that says north is attracted to the opposite pole, which would be the South Pole. So all compasses point south. Okay, they flipped everything on you. Alright? There's only one hole you can get to without wings, people, and that's the one that you can traverse over the flat plane to where all compasses point to. It's clear, people. Alright? That's why there's the red line on your compass. Okay? Because it's pointing to where Jesus places his light into the hole, people. It's very clear. Jesus is the sun. Now, I know some of you just don't want to let go of Jesus. Listen to me, people. You spill your fucking blood over your intent and you publish it right beside the rest of ours. Okay? You're here as an extension of your Creator. You were told, make no engraven images, no false idols. Jesus, you walk into a church, you kneel down to the feminine, you place holy feminine water on your forehead, okay, and then you worship a dead man that you suggest died on a cross. You take your cannibal blood magic. You're clearly in the reverse of truth, and you need to snap the fuck out of your illusion. You're in a cage right now, okay? And it's been exposed, and you need to step up because you're fucking retarded. Now, we're in this shit together, people, and we need to stick together for our survival. The Bible is the two bulls, the paradox, okay? One side of a light hole is a black hole. I am the Alpha and Omega. Okay, it's clear, people. You'd have to be fucking retarded not to put this together. You speak Satan's language. You eat his poison food, drink his fluoridated water. You use his money. Everything about you oozes fucking Satan. You graduate from school, you put your satanic cap on, and then you brag about your degrees or your angle of stupidity because you're either straight or you're fucking confused. So go ahead, brag about your degrees of stupidity because that's what you're fucking standing on. It's clearly, if you say you believe in God and this and that, God is a name never to be said. You were told, make no engraven images, no false idols, people. You're here as an extension of your Creator. And you're here to bring forth heaven on earth. And if you're not, then you're here to fucking mine gold. Two-ball cane, people. The 007, like somebody pointed out. There's over 50,000 errors in your Bible. For you to suggest it's an infallible word of God, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. It hid from you the hole at the center of the earth. It didn't tell you that if you believe in a round earth and you're placing yourself above God every time the sun goes down, you'll suggest that God the Son is beneath your feet and is Father in heaven, which is ridiculous. And listen to me, people. Evil is when good people do nothing. It's clear. You're on a flat earth plane. Your silence is consent. You snooze, you lose. He who would be deceived, let him. That's what they believe, people. And that's why they did this to you. Your black cube book. Okay? Round earthers set themselves up above God every time the sun goes down. They'll suggest that the sun is beneath their feet. Every 6,666 feet, that's 100 miles of curvature. Okay? 100 miles is curvature, 6,666 feet. That's clear. 1/3 of the earth is fallen angels just believing that the earth is round. Every time that the sun goes down, they're placing God, the Son, beneath their feet and his Father in heaven. The earth is flat. Your Bible, okay, is a parable. It's a parable, people. That's what it's telling you. The Bible is a parable. To pray is to tell your God that you do not approve of the divine plan, and you're going to fight against it every step of the way. You're here as an extension, and you're here to bring forth heaven on earth, or you're here to mine fucking gold. There is no in-between, people. Okay? Every time you sign on the X, that's your straw man. You're a zombie. Your country set up a corporation in your name. That's a dead corpse. You are the walking dead. You're a fucking zombie. Okay? You were born into sine wave. That's the biophotons of your mother and the biophotons of your father came together and trapped you here on the gridiron. You're brought to life by way of the sun. And you will follow the light of the sun out of here into the hole to be meeting your Father in heaven. It's clear. You go in to get out, people. Now, I got more stuff on the way. And it's just what second sight is, people. After you've been given the code, like you know that red is the masculine, blue is the feminine. Like the water's down below, that's the feminine. You birthed out of your mother's water. Okay? You say to a person, you're straight or you're gay. You are straight, I am straight. Okay? Or you're gay or you're bent and you're confused. And what they're telling you with this stuff, people, is they're trying to show you, look, AIDS is a hoax, people. It's true, look it up. It's been exposed. AIDS is a fucking hoax, look it up. Now listen, these elementals, people. You see here like focus, and back it says suck off. Okay, the divine feminine is the creative element that when you have a thought in your head, the power that springs off of you, the elemental that comes off of you, okay, is power through your heart, which is a fractal of the black hole sun. Okay, and everything has been fed to us in the reverse of truth, people. Okay, every time you have a thought, an elemental breaks off of you. Every word you speak is a magic spell. you learn spelling or spellcasting in school. Language is what we program computers with, people. And your elemental is a reflection of your intent. And it goes out to line up a path for you with your destiny. You'll hear about people powering their magic with water, the elements, okay, which give strength and direction to their intent, which lines up their future to connect with their intent or that elemental that's out there waiting for you, okay? Now, you're in an ocean right now of elementals. Every thought that you have springs off an elemental, people. So, long focused visualization, or like what I did is I powered my intent by looking into the sun and speaking my intent. Okay? How do you know the sun doesn't have eyes if you've never fucking looked at the sun? I'm telling you, the sun is speaking to you. When you look into the sun, okay, before you do that, maybe you might look up proper sun gazing techniques like barefoot on dry soil and work up from 10 seconds day 1, 20 seconds day 2, okay? You know, you have an ability to look and find shit online, don't you? I mean, it's crazy. Most of you are fucking retarded. You leave the silliest fucking comments. It's fucking hilarious, okay? And listen, your elemental's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Mark my words. Your elemental will bite you in the fucking ass. That's how it works, people. So when you act retarded like you do, something's coming back to bite you in your ass. It's called your elemental, okay? So watch what you power your shit with. Every word you speak is a magic spell. You're like a bad little witch. You're like a poo predator with your number 2 pencil. That's a number 1 is pee-pee, number 2 is shit. And you took all your tests with your number 2 shit pencil. So all you're spinning is magic. And everything shit's because coming out of the rear hole or the asshole. That's why it's the rear admiral who guards the one hole, the asshole, or the way out of here. Now, you Jesus freaks out there, listen, Jesus is the Son. I speak to him every day and tell him my intent. I know who the fuck Jesus is. Okay? You're a round earther. You set yourself up above God every 24 hours. Hell, you couldn't find your way out of this place. If I didn't step up to show you, nobody would, people. Okay? I recommend you spill your blood over your intent and you place it right beside the rest of ours under blood over intent. Now, you could leave your silly fucking question, I don't understand what that means. You could type into your fucking computer blood over intent and hit enter, or you could continue to be a retard. We're in this shit together, people. We need to stick together.